We've got you covered. And here's what you can expect. We'll bring you 2 shows a week, starting on a Monday with our Courtyard Club Call, dropping at 1 p.m. Opinions while we're at the match, tactical breakdowns, player insights, and more. On Wednesdays, it's our live 8 p.m. show on YouTube. Lively discussions, opposition previews, and exclusive fan guests. We've got Patreon specials. Become a member of our Patreon subscription for £3 a month and you can unlock exclusive content. Members get access to special guest episodes, ad-free shows and monthly giveaways. Not forgetting, we've been at this since 2015 and are the original County Fans podcast. Find us on your favourite platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify and wherever else you can get your podcasts. Go to scarfbaggarawar.co.uk to find out more. And subscribe now to never miss any content. Remember, it's for County fans, by County fans.
Somebody in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick of Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Alan trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Armstrong played in the game and a superb goal.
Tony Goody. Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Well, I bet you aren't expecting just to see me here with the slickness of that intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Scarf Bigara War, Season 10, Episode 43, I think it is. I am Waggie. I am left home alone again. Russ is out doing life things. None of you would have expected that because I think that's the best intro for the videos that I've ever done. I pressed all the right buttons and all the right times. So thank you. Good night. We're done. Yes, hello and welcome. So, as Russ isn't here, I am in the chair. I get to ask the questions. We have our very own Jimmy next to me of the Courtyard Club Call fame. So, good evening, Jimmy. How the hell are we? And how's your new house?
I'm just glad I'm not pressing the buttons, mate. Honestly, I'm just going to sit back, talk county. Yeah, if anyone's watching, you just ignore the wallpaper in the background. I've been in the house 10 days, so it's a work in progress.
Yeah, very much a work in progress. And for his hat trick, which there is a ball there, but you definitely can't have that one because it's signed from the 21-22 squad. So welcome, Phil. And as it's your third time, you are officially a friend of the show. And with that, also means I don't have to press any more buttons. You're out from the start, so you don't even get an intro. I'm sorry, mate.
No, not required.
Excellent. So, yes, as Jimmy said, we will talk all things county. We will touch on Charlton away. We will try and keep Jimmy quiet for this because he's done, obviously, in-depth chat about this on the Courtyard Club Call, which is released at 6 a.m. every Monday morning. A slight change to that now, isn't there, Jimmy? You are actually having fan guests on with you, aren't you? You're doing recordings with the fan guests now. So all those people that didn't like you blaming the referee can actually get involved and give their own opinions of said referees.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's good to get like a third opinion, obviously, as well. So Andy's doing a great job in sort of rounding up as many fan guests as he possibly can. So we had Lee Rowley, Big Rolo on last week. So no, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's released every Monday morning. We will talk about last night, the Northampton home draw. We'll also touch on the next, 7 out of the next 10 games are at home, and then we've got 6 consecutive after Lincoln away, including cup games. And just a little bit of a chat about how you think we're performing and our expectations from sort of pre-season, 3 games in, to how we're doing now, that type of stuff. We have some admin, and also we obviously have our getting the reses. So we'll start with Charlton away. So Phil, did you go?
No, I wasn't there. I was listening to it on the stream, but no, I wasn't there.
Okay, what was your sort of overall view of the game? What did you think? Do you think it was a good point away? Do you think we dropped 2?
Well, I think going there is a good point. I think, regardless of the performance. But having said that, the performance didn't sound great.
Yeah. Do you think that it would have been a better point if we'd have got all 3 last night?
Definitely.
Or
Yeah, I said that. I said that on
Saturday.
Saturday.
I think it was a good point.
No, I think I said if we'd have got 3 points last night, Saturday would have been a great result. So obviously, with what happened last night, it's still a good point away at Charlton. Just last night was the sour point for me.
Yeah, cool. So, what was your overall on it, Jimmy? I know obviously you've done the Courtyard Club call, but do you think it was a good point, or do you think it was 2 dropped?
Yeah, it was definitely a good point. I mean, it reminded me, I've been thinking about it again, but it reminded me of like how England used to play with Sol Campbell, like at the back. We just like lumping it forward all the time. And we just didn't do ourselves justice, I don't think, but we battled and we got the point. And as you say, it was a good point at the time. And Dave did say, didn't he, in his post-match, he said, look, we've got to back that up now on Tuesday with a win.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It seemed to me, and I know I've been away and I've not really seen or listened to a lot of what County's been, how they've been playing and stuff, but it seems that we either play it out from the back or we hoof it, and we seem to do that for the full game. You know what I mean? I think the Charlton away, it was everything that came back to Curry and I was hoof, and he come out, it was hoofed every time. Whereas the games previously, people have been moaning that we've been overplaying it. Like Leyton Orient, you know, they had a really, really high press, and all we did was play out from the back. Whereas you've got to try and mix it up between the two. You know what I mean? If the high press, and just occasionally.
I'd say you got to adapt to what they're trying to do to you. Yeah,
I understand. You know, that's Challenger's philosophy, isn't it? That he wants us to be a football playing team and not to be a football. Because that's just not going to stand. It's not going to stand with Challenger. It's not going to stand with Mark Stott, is it? No. But I think you've got to be a bit learn a bit better about it and mix it up when required. I think that's the scene. That's what I took, because it wasn't good to watch. And we'll. I won't say anything about keepers or anything like that until later on for me getting the reses. But it was...
Well, I'm wearing the Union shirt, so just be careful.
Are you another one in the goalkeepers union?
Absolutely, that's why I've got it. I used to wear it when I was playing Sunday
League. You seem to have an abundance of them.
It's had a lot of life. The sponsors logo is very faded because it's had a tough life, this shirt.
Fair enough. Yes.
What? So you actually played in that shirt in Sunday League, did you?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I did. Yeah, in the Berry League.
Yeah, excellent.
That was fun.
So for people that are listening, what shirt is it that you've got on, Phil?
I think it's the 97-98 yellow and black check keeper shirt that we think was worn by Carlo Nash and possibly Eric Nixon.
Yeah. So it's a quality looking shirt like that a lot. So we don't really. Anything else you want to say about Charlton, Phil? Because I know we.
Obviously, I listened to it, but the amount of time wasting that we were doing, and I've seen a lot of people moaning about it, and it just doesn't sit right with me that we're sinking to those levels. We're better than that.
Yeah, and I think we touched on it probably last season on the podcast, talking about is that we generally don't do the dark arts. You know, for the last 2 or 3 seasons, I think we've all looked at it, and you see players like, feigning injury or going down and that type of stuff, and we've not done that. Whereas now this year, it seems, and probably more so Adai than a lot of other people, but there's much more of that going on, isn't there? But you can see it as well. There's a lot more for the teams that we're playing that are doing the same. There's a lot more dark arts, and I think one thing that I don't get, which seems to have suddenly come this season, is where you're taking a goal kick, but it's one of the centre backs that takes the goal kick and passes it
and
to
knocks
the
it to the keeper. Yeah,
and then the keeper just passes it back to him.
me. Yeah,
yeah. But there's so many teams that are doing it. It's like, why suddenly this switch, and who has decided that this is now a good tactic?
Do you think it's because they're trying to see whether the high press will come at that point or not? Because
it must be. It must be. See what the defender's going to do.
The opposition will be set up to like, right, okay, at this point, do the high press. If we then know they're going to do it, maybe we can then knock it over the top. Or if they're not, I mean, like Northampton. Let's not go on to Northampton. But I did feel that Charlton pressed us pretty well. Okay. And that's what made us go over the top, I think, against them. And we made the mistake when we played Leyton Orient that we didn't do that. We continued, didn't we?
Yeah.
With this sort of trying to play it out from the back. And that's what got us caught, really. But this is going to come with the season.
If it was the keeper taking it and passing it to a centre back for the centre back to hit it long, rather than the centre back playing it to the keeper, I don't really see the advantage of it. I don't see what it's doing. That's
I don't either. No, it's just strange.
I mean, pretty much every single team that you watch now does it all of a sudden this season. I don't remember a single team doing it last season. Not that I can remember. Maybe somebody in the comments will enlighten us if anybody else is doing that. But no, it is what it is. I think it was a good point. I think we was under the cosh.
Yeah.
Horsfall's first yellow card was stupid. His second yellow card was a yellow card. So unfortunately, it's a red for them both.
Which just makes the offence for the first one all the worse, doesn't it? You know, if it's a silly booking, you just put yourself under pressure. So just don't put yourself in that position.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Northampton last night, I think pretty much everybody was expecting us to do a number on Northampton. There was a lot of disgruntled people sat around me.
Were around me as well.
Whistle.
Yeah, I had to bite my tongue quite a few times last night with the ones that were sat near me. Just what we're talking about, either playing it across the back or going long, whichever one we did, it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah. I think
it was like,
I think the first half was very frustrating because, I think it was 74% possession, wasn't it, in the first half? But I think that was most of it was between Sam Hughes, Adai, and Pye.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was.
But you could see it as soon, even if they were passing it out, so Powell kept dropping deep. They need to pick it up.
Yeah,
and you could see they were all mannequins. That
was the main issue for me. They were all. Adai had have the ball. Nobody was moving. So what's he supposed to do? So everybody was moaning about it being really slow play. But if he's got nobody to pass it to, and he's not being closed down, he's just going to wait until somebody moves to give him an option. And if nobody moves, well, they'll just stand there and it just goes round and round and round. But anyway, I just have to say, as Ian Dowden's pointed out in the chat, Waggie, we know why last night happened.
Yes, Ian Dowden put, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. You put a jinx in it, Waggie. Give it to him, Phil. It wasn't the ref. It was all Waggie fault. In capital letters. So he's shouting at me.
Yes, the elephant in the room.
Well, hey, I put that tweet out that literally I have only been to 3 games this season, the first 3 games of the season, and we won them all. So up until last night, we have not dropped a point where I'd watched it. So I pointed out to Ian Dowden as well, as I predicted that we're going to be in the Championship in the next 3 years. So have I also jinxed that?
Time will tell, Waggie. Time will tell.
So many people are superstitious, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I do think it was interesting, though, about like you're spot on, Phil, about the mannequins. I mean, obviously being in the cheat, I don't know where you sit, actually. Do you sit in the cheat lane?
I'm in UT1.
UT1. So, yeah, I'm sort of row S, UT3, and you could, lower tier 3. And you could really see literally nobody moving apart from Tanto making a spinning run like pretty much every time, trying to get the ball, and the ball never got to him.
No.
And even, I mean, you're right, Waggy. When Powell did drop back to try and receive the ball, he'd look up, and there was nothing there at all.
You've seen him constantly bollocking people.
Yeah.
It looked to me as if he was shouting at people and saying,
rightly so.
That way.
But had he upset Northampton at some point in the past as well? Because they were going for him last night, weren't they, Powell?
They must have pinpointed him, mustn't they? They must have said, no, obviously, he's a creative player, isn't he? Yeah. So it was like, as soon as he gets the ball, if he moves, take him out.
Yeah, he was getting dumped every time, wasn't he?
Yeah, every time. Yeah, he must have had at least 6, 7, 8 fouls against him, didn't he?
Because after 5, you're like, well, ref, how long is it going to take for you to give a booking? Because they're obviously targeting him. Might not be the same play, but you need to do something now to stop it because they are just going for him.
I think the interesting thing with Powell is because he's got the size as well, he actually doesn't mind getting a bit of contact from someone coming onto him. So I think that almost invites a free kick. Sometimes he'll either hold the person off and then he'll sort of pass it off, or if he thinks that I'm going nowhere, I'll just go down. Whereas Bate, with him being a lot smaller, and speaking as somebody who is a lot smaller, and when I used to play football, I used to hate being sort of like someone coming in behind me, because I used to think, they're going to snap my legs. And Bate is sort of similar to that in that he hardly ever gets caught on the ball. He's got rid of it, isn't he, before someone gets sort of too close to him. Very different midfielders.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting watching the two play.
Yeah, definitely. I think we were very static in that first half, and I think when we came, you saw it. Obviously, they got a rocket up their arse, I think, at half time, because you saw Bate and Powell. They seemed to be just another 5 or 10 yards further forward, didn't they? And instantly, as soon as they get in the ball, they were moving, and you saw, again, the players up front seemed to be moving a lot more.
After half time, the game sped up a bit. It was quick, but then after about 10, 15 minutes, just reverted back to slow mannequins, nobody moving.
Yeah, I think that it goes back to similar to the first season in League Two, when we tended to have a plan A and we didn't seem to have a plan B, did we? Charlton, we seem to be, this is one way to play. Yeah. And if that doesn't work, we don't know what to do. And it's almost as if we do that for 15 minutes. If it doesn't work, then what do? We just sort of, everything just seemed to drop off.
Yeah,
I thought it just didn't seem to be. But if we'd have kept that intensity up and kept pushing, I think we was unlucky not to be 2 or 3, to score 2 or 3 goals. We had some really
we're definitely the better side. I mean, they got what they came for. They wanted a point.
Yeah.
I mean, I turned to my dad when we scored the goal. I said, "Just watch how quick their keeper runs now."
Yeah, and he did, didn't he?
He suddenly found 4 yards of pace.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that the referee pointed at his watch when their keeper was either taking a goal kick or taking anything, he was just, but he never got booked.
No, I think the referee would walk away and give him that more time to take the kick instead of going, right, come on now, or the card's coming out.
Yeah. On every time he'd set up and get the 2 centre backs to stand next to him, and then wait for as long as he possibly could, as if he was going to pass it to one, and then he'd wave them up the field.
Yeah. And then wait, and
then
then take the kick.
Just like. But I definitely put this in the reses a long, long time ago. Is that getting a yellow card for time wasting is pointless, because it's not going to do anything. You're never going to get
just waste more time.
You're not going to get a second yellow card for time wasting.
No.
Never ever.
Do you know what I think they should do? If the opposition if the away team is time wasting like they were throughout the half, okay, and then we score like a last minute winner or something, they should knock off all the extra time, because they basically benefited from their own time wasting in the end.
Yeah,
didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, they did in the end, I suppose.
And also that shithousery around the penalty. I mean, how long did it take the referee to point at every single one of their players?
Oh, I hate that.
Don't encroach. I was thinking, poor Louis Barry stood there waiting to take this penalty for about 2 minutes.
There was one of their players who was actually still encroaching.
Yeah, but it points to one of the players to say, right, you need to get out of the box. So as he's talking to him to push him out of the box, there's another one coming in from the other corner. behind the referee's back to come in and have his little word.
They're like just oil protesters, aren't they?
Yeah.
You drag one out the way, another one comes in.
Another one sits down in its place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've seen plenty of comments actually saying that Powell was like man of the match, or he's been great for the last 3 games. So Ian Dowden, Daniel Davies. Yeah, I mean, and he was absolutely brilliant. And I just love watching him play. He's definitely my favourite player.
He just makes it look easy, doesn't he? It's effortless to him.
And he looks better than last season.
Yeah, he does.
And because the standard has gone up. As I say, I'd probably said Powell or Torre, I thought, was either of my man of the match last night. I know they gave it to Bate, didn't they? And I think he was. I don't think he had a bad game, but I don't think he had an outstanding game. I think maybe the second half definitely looked a lot better in the second half.
He's all action, though, isn't he? He's everywhere. That's the thing with him. He catches the eye because he's darting about everywhere. He's always wanting the ball. Whereas somebody like Powell doesn't do that, but you give him the ball and he does something with it.
Yeah.
So I can see why they saw Lewis Bate.
And what I did like, and this goes back to something that you talked about on the club call, Jimmy, with Rolo, was can Powell and Norwood be on the same pitch together? Now, I think that they can, but I think last night showed why they shouldn't be, because Powell went off, Norwood came on, and Norwood just took up the mantle.
Yeah.
He just got the ball, and he was just spraying it here, there, and everywhere, wasn't he? So, as you say, yes, I think they're very, very similar players, but to have those two and have such an experience is that, yes, we can play Powell for 60 minutes. He can give his all for 60 minutes, and then we know for the last 30 minutes we bring Norwood on, and we've got exactly the same player doing exactly what he wants, fresh, and can ping the ball everywhere. That's what I noticed. And I know you had a discussion about that on the club call. Whether or not they could be on the same pitch.
I don't think we have the legs in midfield if you've got Powell and Norwood in there. Even if it's sort of Powell playing slightly forward, I don't think you can afford to have those two types of players that aren't going to break the lines with any runs or anything. I mean, Lewis Bate didn't do it that much last night, and he's not done it enough this season, actually. In pre-season,
is it that type of midfielder, though? That's the thing.
Well, he did get forward a couple of times in the second half. He certainly made one swashbuckling run down our left-hand side, and the crowd were like, yeah, nice one. But no, he's not. And I think we do rely on Will Collar to sort of make that sort of run a bit more. I know he's playing a little bit further forward this season. And we do miss him, though, don't we? It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think we really miss him in that sort of slightly advanced position. So don't know when he's back. Does anybody know what his injury is? Or
it's not been mentioned, has it?
Yeah,
no, I don't know. Yeah, he's gone a bit quiet. He said it wasn't as bad as he thought it'd be, so I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, from the comments he made. From the comments he made when he actually got the injury, I was expecting to have been back by now.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's had a setback and he's just not said anything. It was a blow to hear about Camps. He was in the courtyard last night. He's out for 4 weeks.
He said 4 weeks. Well, Jake said on Saturday that he was out for 8 weeks, and then Challoner said last night that he reckoned he was out for 3 weeks. So going off that, would you say that Bate is always going to start, and then it's a case of Camps, Norwood, or Powell who's going to play next to him? Or do you think it's a combination of any of those four?
Well, he's been given the armband, hasn't he?
Yeah. So you reckon he's one of the first name on the sheet?
Yeah. And they'll just fit the others in around him. Yeah. So
I
maybe two,
think
depending on who we're playing and how he wants to set it up.
Yeah, I think he's going to be rotating Norwood and Powell. They won't play in the same team, I don't believe. And then I think it'll be like Bate and I think Camps has been our best midfielder this season. As much as I was saying how good Powell's in the last 3 games. Camps has been phenomenal because he's the one that can get forward and actually score goals out of them as well. Like Powell, because he's not got the legs and he gets asked to play in this deeper role, you don't tend to see him getting too far forward unless it's for a free kick that he's not taking or a corner or something. We know how good he is in the air. But Camps has been superb this season. And again, we missed him last night. I think if he'd been in the team, or if he'd come on after 60 minutes or something, I think we might have won that game.
Maybe.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I think Phil, Ian Dowden, where's that comment gone? He's put in the comments, we were 4 inches away from a 4-0 win last night. You know what I mean? Fev's chance,
shot, yeah.
Bailey's chance, Fev's 2 chances. The ones that the one that where he came inside and hit the post in the first half, and also when it was pulled back to him from Barry, that could have easily been Bailey. He had a decent chance, didn't he? So yeah, but also I suppose we were only
hit the post as well. Though
we
were 2 inches away from losing 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a header as well, didn't they, in the first half.
Yeah, and let's face it, I thought Adai did brilliantly to actually catch it as it came back off the post, because that was travelling some speed. It could easily have gone in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few people saying that's the only thing he caught all night. But anyway, let's.
Yeah, I mean, there's a load of people saying that Hughes played well as well, in fairness. Daniel Davies. Hughes was very good, didn't notice Horsfall missing. And he's funny because, like, he's not tall, is he? He's not a tall central defender, but he times his jumps when he heads the ball so well. He wins most of his headers. It's really...
Apart from when they equalised.
It wasn't his man, though, was it?
There was nobody with him, though, was there?
But he didn't seem to jump for that. But I will admit, I mean, yeah, as Dave Philbin says, special mention for Sam Hughes last night. Thought he slotted in really well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And yeah, Daniel Davies says Hughes was very good. Didn't know his Horsfall missing. I think they're both really good points. I think he's slotted in, considering he's not really played that much. He's been on and off the bench, hasn't he? So for him to come in and as you say, slot straight in, I thought he played. He had a really, really good game, and I think he looked pretty good. Do you think that if we're going to play a back three, do you think he would be able to play that right-sided centre back instead of Connolly? I mean, I'm obviously only going off the one game.
Yeah.
But I think Connolly looked a lot better last night. But I think we tended to sort of slot into a back four, and Connolly seemed to be almost a midfielder, didn't he? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed that quite a lot.
Yeah, I did notice that.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think my response to that, Waggie, would be Kyle Noyle just has to be our right-sided central defender for what he can give us when we move to that back four. I think we're really missing him.
So would you have him as a right centre-back, or would you have him as a right wing-back? So instead of a Mingy or a Fevs? Because it's both sort of their position.
I do the thing that Charlie... Yeah, I do the thing that Charlie loves to do, which is basically give us that option to either go to that back three, which he can slot in at that right. And he's the sort of Kyle Walker type of player, a bit more pace, happier going forward. So that's what Gareth Southgate was sort of using Kyle Walker as, wasn't he, in like the last tournament? Sort of knowing that he can either go into a back three or wing backy type of back four type thing as well. So very what's the word? Swiss Army knife type defender on that right hand side.
Yeah.
So
do we think it was a penalty?
I only had the one view because I was there and it was right in front of me. But for me, yes. But I haven't seen it back yet.
I was too busy watching Bate taking the corner. I don't know why, but my eyes didn't track the ball quick enough for some reason. And then by the time my eyes had got onto the penalty spot, like the whistle had blown, I turned to Chloe and said, "What happened there? Was it a penalty?" She said, "Yeah, it's definitely a penalty, Dad, definitely a penalty." I've seen it back on the highlights and they were both
they've not shown the extended highlights, have they? There's only like the 2 minutes, so it doesn't capture it properly. But it definitely, I think, because Pye and Wotton were stood together, and there was the two defenders that were stood behind them. So they were like, Wotton was trying sort of shielding Pye, and I believe it was the defender basically tried to get Wotton out of the way so they could get to Pye. So he's basically rugby tackled him. But their manager has said that Kyle Wotton's got hold of the defender's arm so that he can't move anywhere. And then he's trying to get away from him, and he's fell over him. and that's why it was a soft penalty. But I don't
Had
think...
it been at the other end, he'd have been going ballistic if that hadn't been given.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I was just watching that little knot of players because I don't know if it was the corner before, but one of their players was basically trying to swap shirts with Ethan Pye. He had hold of his shirt and was pulling his shirt back.
Yeah.
And the referee was sort of looking in that direction.
Possibly.
So after that one, I thought, right, just keep an eye on this now because something's going to happen here. And sure enough, there it was.
But was that the corner when literally, because we'd had a corner before, hadn't they? And they'd warned everybody. He'd stopped playing and warned everybody.
I think it may have been.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically everyone was like, oh, it's going to be a free kick to them, this. Which is normally the case, isn't it? But yeah.
A lot of the time, though, when they do go over and have a chat with things that are going on, they normally give the free kick to the defending side. So for it to go against the defender this time, it made a change because I had to, again, turn to my dad and said, it's about time one of those was given.
Yeah, definitely. And then Charlie mentioned as well that there was a foul in the center of the pitch for us, which wasn't given, and carried on for 10 seconds, and then they get a free kick, which they actually score from.
It seemed very much like he was trying to level it up. Like it's almost like he'd given the penalty, but wasn't convinced it should have been, and was almost trying to level it up. Yeah, this is what I saw. Because there was just a couple of fouls that went their way after the penalty that just seemed a bit, hang on a minute, something's not right here. Yeah. They weren't happening before. Why is he suddenly giving those all these fouls? And obviously it gives the key one.
Do you think being in League One, we're seeing a lot more niggly fouls from opposition? Because every week I'm thinking, I hate Charlton, or I hate Northampton, or what a dirty team they are. Or, they got loads of. They should have got loads of bookings. I don't remember that in League Two. Maybe my memory just is shite. Well, it is shite, but
maybe
I'm thinking, yeah.
It's more dark arts, isn't it? I think the further up the leagues you go, there's the more of the dark arts that teams employ. And it was just, I don't know, it was a sickener, wasn't it? Because I thought that we definitely did enough to win that game comfortably, but I was quite surprised that Challoner came out and was so positive. It was really positive, and I know we're not allowed to blame refs because we've been told off for that already this season. But it was interesting to see Charlie saying that when he refereed us last year, he made a blatant error and actually had to go for some retraining.
I know. Yeah, I mean, come on.
How do we even find that out? I mean, has somebody at the Referees Association sent us a letter? I'm very sorry that Mr. Bloggs has made an error in that game. We have given him a slap over the back of the hand, and he is off to an oil rig to get some training. Is that what's happening?
He had to write 100 lines. I will not make a mistake. I will not make a mistake. Just a little bit of an update. Most people are hopefully aware. The ladies are playing in the Cheshire Senior / Manchester Super Cup this evening, and it's half time, and the county ladies are currently 1-0 up. They've scored after 7 minutes by Jess Brady, drilled into the bottom corner. We do have a person. We have Stu from the podcast who is actually there with his girl. So he's basically saying it's all county. So hopefully the ladies can carry on that, and we can win that. So excellent. There he is. Look, he's just popped up there. Yep. Stuart Hope, half-time, 1-0 up to county. Excellent.
Good stuff.
So yeah, for their goal, I feel as if there was 2 or 3 players that were trying to go to ground to get a free kick, and I'm talking about our players. It seemed as if there was 3 or 4 players that fell to the ground, and it ended up that the lad had a free header. To me, that was, and then I just think Hughes. I don't know if he was there's a player that fell in front of him, so I don't know if that sort of caught his foot or anything, but he just didn't seem to properly jump for their goal. Do we have any recollection of it, or we were just like...
Not really, no. I just, as soon as that free kick was given, it was just, for me, an air of inevitability about it. I thought, they're going to equalise. for the way it had happened in the build-up, it was just like, here we go. And then, I saw just a free header. It was just like, how has this happened? They've just stolen a point.
Yeah, definitely felt like stealing a point.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was definitely Diamond that let his man run off him, because he ran in from quite away. It wasn't like he was one of the guys stood on the 6-yard line or anything. And that's how they managed to get that goal, unfortunately. And Adai had no chance, obviously.
But I think Dave Philbin makes a point there, saying Jack Diamond lost his man, and a 6'8" keeper surely should command his 6-yard box. So, do we think he should have come out for it, or
he doesn't? He doesn't come off his line. I don't know why. Dave's right. He's 6'8". You're thinking, if someone's heading the ball from 6 yards, can he not come and claim that? I mean, he can. I don't know.
I mean, at that height, he's got the ball like 9-10 foot in the air, isn't he? If a cross comes in, so yeah, he should be.
It did feel as if it was drilled a bit, but as you say, you still think it's his 6-yard box. He should come out.
The only thing is, what sort of view of the flight of the ball do you have? How many people were between him and the ball when it was set? You see it coming over. It's sometimes difficult to judge it at that pace.
Yeah.
Because so many times you see a keeper come out for a cross, and they're absolutely nowhere near it because it was a lot quicker than they were expecting, and they just look absolutely stupid because they're stood in the 6-yard box and the striker's behind him just nodding it in.
Yeah.
So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't sometimes.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ellis Whitehead of the Pie rating. I think their goal shows we need to be focused on set pieces, considering the past 2 weeks we've conceded both our goals from set pieces, which is pretty poor. Yeah, we do seem to. I've felt that we seem to be conceding from set pieces, but I don't know if that's just a trait that we seem to have had since National League. We always seem to concede from set pieces. And again, you don't know if that's just me making things up in my own head, but I just feel that we concede a lot of set pieces. And a lot of goals that we seem to have conceded. Do you agree with that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think it's very easy to notice when you concede from set pieces. Every team does eventually. You will eventually concede from a set piece, but I think it's just dangerous to give a free kick away like that. No matter what happened before with the Fiorini thing, we were annoyed, but it was a stupid free kick to give away. And then we just didn't deal with it, did we?
No, like you say, Waggie, though, for the last few years, there's always been free kick around the edge of the box. It's always just caused panic.
Yeah. And it seems to be there's a lot more teams that have a long throw in League One. It pretty much seems almost every, because wasn't the guy who was there number 10, wasn't he? Wasn't he the striker that was taking the long throws last night for Northampton? He was their striker, wasn't he?
I didn't know. So I just know he could.
10 that was taking the long throws, which seems a bit.
Say your word for that.
Yeah, it seems a bit strange that it's like the striker. So what does he just do a big loop in one and then run in and edit himself? Yeah. So, anything else on the Northampton game? Any other points that you felt we need to speak about or anything?
It was good to see Mellon get 15 minutes. I think
it was.
He sort of reminds me, maybe I'm doing him a disservice, but he reminds me of a bit like an Anthony Elding sort of character, in that he just seems to want to just get in there and stick his foot in and just be a bit of a shit house. As much as I love Carl Wotton, he's too nice. isn't he?
Yeah,
Too
he
nice.
is.
He's not the sort of guy that a central defender's going to think at the end, "Oh, that was really, really hard." Okay, he grapples a little bit and gives free kicks away because of it, but Mellon looks like a real nasty bastard. I think
he looks a unit as well. And I didn't realise when we signed him, I thought he was quite not a slight, but a smaller striker who's a bit of pace and stuff about him. But he did look a proper unit last night. And as you say, he just put himself about, didn't he?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And defenders don't.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. So, moving on to Lincoln away on Saturday. Does our last few performances, because again, Dave Philbin, I don't want to keep showing Dave Philbin. People think it's me. Lincoln are the top scorers in the league from set pieces too, so that doesn't really bode well for Saturday. What are we thinking? Because didn't they get beat last night, Lincoln?
Not sure.
Yeah, they lost 3-0 to Crawley. So
they did. Yeah, of course they did.
So before we start, anybody can take points from anybody at the minute. There still doesn't seem to be, apart from obviously Birmingham, but again, Charlton beat Birmingham the game before they played us.
Which is another reason why I thought it was a good point for us going there getting that, considering that the previous game, they beat Birmingham. I know every game's different, but they still had that on their record.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a really difficult. I think Birmingham will end up on top just because of the money that they've spent and everything like that, and the squad that they've got. But I just think I think if you can put a run of 4 or 5 games together, 4 or 5 wins, then you're going to be in with a really good. You're going to shoot up the league because everybody's taking points off everybody. As you say, Lincoln getting beat. I've seen the result and I completely forgot. But yeah, Crawley beating Lincoln. You wouldn't have put money on that. Not a chance. So does that give you any more confidence, or are you confident for the Lincoln?
No, I'm going into thinking if we get something, it's a bonus. But
you sound a bit despondent, Phil.
Yeah, last night was just. Yeah, I'm listening to the blokes behind me too much last night. It's affected me.
What about you, Jimmy? Are you glass half full, glass half empty?
I mean, Lincoln have scored 16 and conceded 14 from their 11 games. So if you take out they've conceded 6 in the last 2 to Birmingham and Crawley. I think they're going to be a really well organised side. They're a team that's sort of well established in League One. I think it's going to be tough. I hope that they will, with us playing away, I hope they will be more expansive than when teams come to Edgeley Park. So hopefully there will be some sort of chances for us. Dave seems very, he's always done this ever since he's been our manager. He tends to set us up depending on what the opposition are going to be like. So I think he will probably set us up, hopefully, with a bit of pace up front. I think we'll probably see Wootton back actually again because we have got this massive fixture sort of backlog coming up now with sort of Saturdays, Tuesdays, Saturdays. So I would accept a point. If you were to give me a point now, I'd say let's take it, but we'll see.
But it's that situation again where we're going away Saturday, so a point would be good if we consolidate it with 3 points next Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do that this week, it's just a bit of a knock.
Yeah, there's a good comment actually, Waggie, from Stephen Fosbrook, and I was thinking this whilst I was looking at the fixtures and the league table, and he's right. We played nine games against teams in the bottom half and only 2 in the top half. So you could say that statistically our points tally is a little bit skewed, maybe a bit higher than where we should be.
That's definitely going to change in the next 10 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always glass half full. I'm on the positive bandwagon. I still think that I think we can still go there and get a point. I think there's a couple of people that have commented earlier on is that we're like that close to actually giving somebody a battering. I think if it clicks, there's just little bits that just aren't clicking. And I think Challoner himself, I don't think he knows his best 11 to be starting at the minute.
No, it's quite telling as well that the last 2 goals he scored are both from penalties.
Yeah, yeah,
and that's a concern.
Yeah, it is. But as you say, I think it's one of those that if one of those chances that we've had, which went millimeters wide and stuff like that, if one of them goes in, again, I've said it all the time, and it's obviously one of them little cliche things that if we score early, then we'll be a much better team, because if we'd have scored early last night, Northampton would have had to have completely changed their game plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that again plays into our hands, because we can be more expansive. We can, we've got that extra yard, we've got that extra sort of pass that we can find.
Yeah.
So I think it's I think we can still get a result down there.
I think
it shows.
Get a point.
I'd be happy with a point. I'm obviously wanting us to get 3 points. I think we can still go there and get some. But I think, as you said, a point on Saturday, 3 points on Tuesday. I think that's a good return from the next 2 games. It's, as you say, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to predict your 11 on FanHub, because you can sort of get 8 or 9. And then there's still a couple of little.
I think I got 6. I think I only got 6 last night.
Did you only get 6?
Yeah.
I think I got 9. I think I got 9. But as you say, there's a couple of little swerve balls, that he throws in that seems to be, you don't expect that he's going to play that. I was quite surprised with, like say, he seems to have been like going with Wotton quite a lot, hasn't he? Do you think Wotton will start on Saturday then, or do you think Alafi will start again?
No, I think it'll be Wotton again.
I think it'll be Wotton. Do you think that's because we're playing away from home, or do you think that's to do with how he's going to want us to set up against Lincoln?
Probably how he wants to set up.
Yeah.
I did think that Wotton's touch was looking really good. So when he came on for the last 15 minutes, a few balls that Tanto wasn't quite trapping, Wotton did, which I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, that's useful, that's good. He's laying that off, so he definitely helped in that respect. And when you're not playing the ball over the top for Tanto to run onto, it's like, well, what's the point in him being in the team?
That's it. You're not playing to his strengths, are you? And I noticed that a lot. Like, you mentioned before, Jimmy, he kept making spinning runs.
Yeah.
But the ball never went.
Yeah.
And you could see after a while of him doing it, he's just thinking, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
I keep making these runs and you're just not passing the ball where I need it.
Do you think that it looks to me, and again, maybe the completely wrong observation, but it seems to me that a lot of the time when Wotton's not on the pitch, we try and play as if Wotton is on the pitch. And then when Wotton is on the pitch, we try and play as if Tanto's on the pitch.
Yeah, there was one knocked over the top for him to run onto, wasn't there, for Wotton to chase.
Against, like you say, like against Charlton, you're sort of playing balls over the top, or you're playing balls like round corners and things like that to try and get somebody run on. And it's like, well, Wotton's up there. You play it to him and let him hold it up and whatnot. And then, like last night, we seem to be, trying to put crosses in for Tanto to get onto.
Is Mellon sort of a striker, sort of in between the two of them? Is he a bit mobile as well as being a target? That's what we need, isn't it?
He definitely looked like he is going to be mobile. Obviously, he's well short of match fitness. One thing that I did notice actually last night, and you're probably going to laugh at me here, but I felt the pitch was just like too fast almost for us. It sort of enabled them to defend a little bit higher up, knowing that if we did put the ball over the top, it would just skid out. It did seem to be really, really zippy. And you got to take that into account a little bit as well. I mean,
sometimes it's you watching the pitch, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you do get that zip, and sometimes you don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe when it's a little bit of a colder evening as well, and a little bit of moisture on there as well, it did seem to zip. Although Norwood seems to have this just beautiful ability when he sprays balls around. He puts it's almost like a bit of a bit of backspin on the ball. Do you know what I mean? It sort of just checks and holds up a little bit. And when he came on and started spraying those balls around, I was like, oh yes, that is nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you want to do score predictions for Lincoln?
I'll take a 1-1.
Yeah, obviously you said
a Louis Barry penalty.
Get your money on it.
Yeah, I'll take a point now. Obviously, I'd love a win, but yeah, I'll take a point now.
Fair enough.
Me too. 1-1.
Okay.
I'm going to go
2-1, but I will settle with a 1-1.
Yeah,
we'll have that. So, I just wanted to sort of talk about. There was a lot of disgruntled people last night. There was a lot of people that were disgruntled about our first half, second half performance against Charlton. So, I just wanted to get your views on what was your expectations pre-season. What was you expecting pre-season? Where did you think we was going to finish? What would you have been happy with? How would you have been happy with how we'd finished? Then, how did your hopes go? How high did your hopes go when we won our first 3 games? And how do you feel that we are settling in 11 games into the season? I know it's only 11 games, and I think that the next 10 games certainly are going to make a big difference to how we fare, where our sort of natural position is in the league. I think Christmas is where we see where we're at, and we're generally stronger in the second half of the season, which looking at the squad, it's a young squad. We're developing. Anything we have this season is a bonus to what everybody's expectations are. So, Phil, what was your expectations at the beginning of the season? What would you...
I'd have been happy. I was happy with mid-table.
Mid-table. So
just a season of no jeopardy.
No jeopardy. So you're sort of talking 10 and 16th, anywhere in between.
I'd say bottom half of the top half, if you know what I mean.
Bottom half, so like 12.
9, 10, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I'd have been happy with that.
Did your expectations go up after we won?
Of course, everybody's did. We won our first 3 games. Just like we've won the league already. Just give us the trophy. I went to Blackpool and just like, oh, what's going on here? These are supposed to be a test, and we've done this to them. It's ours. And then I went to Leyton Orient.
Yes.
And I realised,
so 11 games in. Have your expectations gone back to pre-season? Have they gone lower?
You're still looking mid. I'd still take mid-table now. Obviously, I'd love to have a push for the playoffs, but I'd take mid-table. Just a season to just consolidate. I mean, look what we did in League 2. We lost in the playoff final, but I don't think we were quite ready. And then we had the second season where we went and won it. We adjusted to the division better the second season. Yeah. And I think that's what will happen this time. Don't get me wrong, if we go up, I'll be absolutely delighted. But I will take mid-table now.
Okay. So
and I just have to remind myself that, we're having this, not a poor run as such, but we're going through this spell of draws at the minute that it's a new division for us.
Yeah, and you've got to still take in, we've only lost 1 game.
That's it.
We've drawn a few, but we've only lost 1 game in a brand new league, which we've not been in for 14 years. The level of football is a lot greater than it is, and we've got pretty much a brand new squad.
Yeah, and some of the draws we've had could very easily have been wins.
Yeah.
So whilst last night was disappointing, as a whole, we're not doing that bad.
Yeah. So Jimmy, same to you. What was your expectation? Similar to Phil?
I must have more money than sense because I stuck 100 quid on us getting promoted this season.
Well, there we go.
Wow.
So I got 7-1, just promotion.
Wow.
So I was thinking we'd sneak into the playoffs and then we'd do it through the playoffs. And then after the first 3 games, I was thinking, yep, I'm quid in here. Nice. And now I'm sort of on the mid-table bandwagon of just consolidating. Basically, I'm a bit more realistic now, and I think if we finish sort of 9th, 10th, 11th, I think that'll be a fair season for us. You got to remember as well that I've seen a few sort of posts on social media saying, "Oh, Sarcevic would have been great," or "Madden would have been great," but yeah, maybe for a season, but that's not what the club are doing, and that's not what Dave and Simon Wilson have said. They've said that they've bought a group of players now for the next 3 years, like the next push to the Championship. It wasn't about what Wrexham are doing, which is grabbing what they can do now and then, and sort of hope for it. So 3 years, that's the plan.
Klaxon.
Where's it gone?
Oh, you've got him here, Jimmy. You can't find the klaxon button.
I can't
Can you
find
not?
it.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Hey!
There it is.
Yeah, so they're obviously going a lot more short term, but this is a 3-year plan, and that's why Sars wasn't offered a year, or he was offered a year, we think, and Madden was offered a year, but no more than that. And I think we should sort of bear that in mind. And yeah, I'm sort of realistic that this season is just going to be Dave learning the division himself as well. First time he's been in League One, the players gelling together, and then we'll just see how it goes. We're not going to do wholesale changes now for the next 2 seasons, are we? We've got players on 3-year contracts like the ones we brought in this season. And there's going to be a few that are going to be up at the end of the season. I don't even know what the contract situations are like for some of those players, but we'll make a decision on that. And if we think they're good enough, we'll give them a contract. And if not, we'll get somebody else in. So baby steps, really. But yeah, that's my feeling. Mid-table and a cup run. That's what I want. Mid-table and a cup.
Nice. Yeah.
That'll do me. 4th round of the FA Cup.
Yeah. But that goes back to some of the comments that were going on around me last night. And I heard one voice come out with, bloody hell, we're going to just be mid-table at this point. I'm like, but you'd have taken that at the start of the season. Yeah. Forget about the first 3 games. This is a brand new division. We're coming up against better teams. So mid-table would be an achievement. Yeah. So I don't see that as a negative. Just think, we're not in danger of going down. Such wood. Just have a no jeopardy season.
Yeah, it'd be a bit boring. I don't know if I'd. But no, I totally understand. I still think we'll click. I still think that we'll be there or thereabouts for playoffs. I still think, but I would snap your hand off if you turned around and said to me, "We finished 10th." I would absolutely, because as you say, I think we've built the squad, as you said, Jimmy. Sars and was brilliant for us. We offered him a year. He got offered 2 years somewhere else, probably more money or whatever. So he's gone there. It's football, it's a cutthroat game. So you've got to look after yourself. And if do you think if Sars had still been here and Madden had still been here and we'd have been in the same position now, what would be the excuses then?
Yeah, people are going to say, "Oh, we should have replaced them. No, they're not good enough." Yeah. They can't win, can they?
No, you can't. No
matter what they do.
It is a very subjective game, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
One person's view is completely different to every other person's view.
Yeah. And you've also got to think that if we are looking mid-table, so say 9th, 10th, 11th, that does mean, you say that the season will be boring, but it'll mean that you're in and around the playoffs. You won't be that far away from them. So
no, you're not.
All football fans, you all think, oh yeah, if we just win the next 4 games, we can get in the playoffs here. So we'll still have something to keep us going till the end of the season if we do end up just finishing 9th or 10th. So
it's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that's why we love this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It is what it is. We're going through, but we're going to click. We're going to click. I said it on BBC Radio Manchester a few weeks ago. We start slowly. So if that's us starting slowly after 11 games, then it's all good for me. See where we're at Christmas and see what happens after that.
Yep.
So, the only thing that I would sort of caveat this sort of writing this season off and then going for it tomorrow, I was looking at the Championship table and it's pretty scary at the bottom of that division. They've got Portsmouth, QPR, Coventry, Plymouth, Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday, and Luton in like the bottom 7. So that is some serious teams like coming down, isn't it? Like 3 of those teams are going to be coming down. And when you look at the top of our division, you've got like Wrexham and Mansfield at the sort of, are they 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and 4th or something?
Yeah, about that.
So it does make you think, gosh, maybe this is the season that it's going to be easier to get promoted maybe than compared to like next season when, as I say, one of those teams, and they're all bloody good teams, are going to come down.
Yeah, again, you don't know. I mean, I think Birmingham are a bit of a one-off because they've come down and they've basically said, you know, we are going all out. We are only staying in this league for a season. It's whether or not those clubs will come down and do the same or try and consolidate, or if, you know, there'll be a general clear out. Because by the sounds of it, to me, it was that Birmingham weren't good enough to be in the championship. They didn't have championship players, and they've come down and maybe not quite the right word, but they've shit themselves and gone, well, we're going to spend all this money and we're going to go back up straight away and be in a better position than when we come down. Whereas, as you say, those teams coming down, is it going to be a shock to the system? And then they're not sure where they're going to be. So
the financial impact of it as well, coming down.
Yeah. So just an update, County are now 2-0 up. Olivia Greenhouse has scored for County. So that's good. That's good for them. Half an hour or so to go for that. So, yeah. What else do we... Anything else do we want to mention about how we think the season's so far? Anything that needs to be changed? Do we think we need any better players in any better positions? I know we're only 11 games in, and I'm just doing this hypothetically.
Well, still players to come back yet as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like new signings. You've already mentioned Noyle. We've got Southern Males. Still got Rydell to come back. Mellon's only just come back. We've got Collar to come back. Camps is out, so when he's back, you know, when it's fully fit, it's a frightening squad, and it's not an enviable task picking a starting 11 from that lot.
That's why he's paid the big bucks.
Exactly why, yeah.
Excellent. So do a little bit of admin before we do get in the reses, because we are an hour in already. So there's a new Betty Bet game starting this weekend. It's been posted on the socials, so that's a £5 in each. Basically, you have to predict which team is going to win, but you can only use that team once, and it's a knockout. If you lose, then you're out. All the money in, half of it will go to the winner and half of it will go to Mentel. So really good cause. Get yourselves on that. We are up for the Football Content Awards. We're in the finals of the Football Content Awards, but that is all, the voting's all closed for that. We are also in the final for the Northwest Football Awards. So we're up against another 4 podcasts from the Northwest. So hopefully we can do well in that. I think we've got it on the socials. We'll get them put on the socials again. Get voting for us if you can. Let us get that. We also, big thanks to all our obviously patrons. We have a current player confirmed who said he's willing to come on the podcast. So we're going to get that set up. Hopefully we'll get that done in the next few weeks. And we do have County Royalty who has agreed to do a podcast. If this comes off, this will be brilliant. This will be an absolutely superb. So we're not sure if that's going to be a live show or if it's more likely it's going to be a pre-record. So hopefully that'll be coming in the next few weeks. I think that's it from me. Obviously, we have our blogs and stuff, so get them checked out. The Diary of a County Fan, aged 60 something or other. I've not got it in front of me. My mind's gone blank. But yeah, keep having a look at that. That's brilliant. I think that's everything from me. Obviously, the normal, subscribe, all that jazz, get on Patreon, whatever. Professional at this, aren't I?
Like and subscribe, Waggie. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's what you want. Get signed up. Get signed up on Patreon. So getting the reses. I can get to play the actual getting the reses when I can find it. Where is he?
Are you doing so well, Waggie?
I know.
I was
seamless.
doing so
It was
well.
seamless.
I was doing so well, but it wouldn't be me in charge. If it was perfect, would it?
You're
They'd
doing this
think
on
I've been-
purpose, like you're just living up to your stereotype. That's what it is.
People would think I've been replaced by AI if it all went well.
Getting the reses.
Come on, get in reses.
Get in
Come on,
the reses.
getting
That's
reses.
rubbish. Get in reses.
I'm not having that. Getting reses.
There we go. There it is.
There it is.
Love it.
So, Phil, have you got to get in the reses?
I have 2 getting the reses.
Oh, okay. So go on then. We'll get the first.
I'll
one
do
off
the first one. The first one. It's news that came out yesterday, and it's Barcelona Atletico Madrid game, league game being played in Miami. I think it is in December. Just waiting for FIFA to green light it, but they think it's going to go ahead.
Wow,
It's a
that's
home
bit
game,
bigger than Birmingham versus
Yeah.
Wrexham, isn't it?
but it's a home game. Why take it to America? If Americans want to watch Barcelona, go to Barcelona.
Okay.
Moving an entire fixture abroad just doesn't seem right. I know NFL do it because they have the ones in London,
Yeah.
but it's just not right. You know, you got season ticket holders. Are you going to give them a game's season ticket money back, or are you going to fly them over to America to go and watch the game? Obviously not. So yeah, moving a fixture abroad and if that goes ahead, you know full well the Premier League clubs are like, hang on a minute,
Oh, yeah.
we want a piece of this action. Where does it stop? Because then you get big championship clubs saying, well, if they can do it, why can't we do it? And then it'll come down and you got the likes of Birmingham and that lot. They'll be wanting to do it as well. Just no. Playing fixtures abroad in the reses.
And the only reason for it is money.
Of course
It
it
isn't
is.
to
Because they
open-
don't make
open up-
enough, do they?
Open up the game to the wider fan base. It's none of that bollocks. It's all about
All about the
how
coin.
much money they can make. Yeah.
Yeah, because the new Champions League's not going to give them enough money, is it? They
Yeah.
have to do something else.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't know that had been announced. I know that.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it was because I was sitting thinking about the reses, and that came on Sky Sports News yesterday. Other news outlets are available, and I just went, no, that's not. No, that is definitely my reses.
Yep, definitely that can get in the reses. So, Jimmy, do you have a get in the reses?
Yeah, so we've sort of touched on it, but mine is Whingers in the Cheadland shouting for Adai to lump it forward when 3 days ago that's what we did and it didn't work. And I think I'm not convinced that many of our fan base actually take note of what happens away from Edgeley Park. I sometimes think it's just like, oh my God, I'm going to watch County on a Saturday, but whatever happens the weekend after, I don't know. So I just wish they would. Sorry, my eye is absolutely killing. I'm winking all over the place. Yeah, I just think that that our fan base, or some of our fan base, they just sort of, they don't know what happens in other games.
Okay.
But to expand on that as well,
He's gone. He's crying. He's crying about it.
Oh,
He's got
emotional.
him. He's crying about it.
But it's like the ones that were near me last night. They're moaning because he's not lumping it forward. But then when he does lump it forward, and it's not a pinpoint pass, it's like, what the bloody hell is that? What a waste of time that was. Why did you do that? And it's like, because not wanting to play it across the back. Which way do you want it? So yeah, Whingers, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mine, and I don't know if this actually has been in the reses while I've been away, but it is definitely keepers going down and faking injury so that they can have a huddle on the side. Because I don't know if you noticed, their keeper went down pretending injury before the penalty last night.
Yes, I did notice that. Yeah, yeah.
And I know that Adai did it at Charlton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that, and we're talking about dark arts and everything like that. I totally don't agree with it, because I think there's 3 or 4 times this season where there's a keeper gone down when we've been on top and playing well, and after 20, 25 minutes, their keeper has feigned injury and they all go and have a huddle. And that definitely needs to go in the reses.
It's the pre-planned nature of it as well, isn't it?
It's the tactical injury.
Exactly.
Nobody around him. And just go down holding the thigh.
So it's something that's happened in training that someone said, is the manager or the goalkeeper coach or whatever, they've said, right, okay, in this situation, if they get a penalty, do this. Or if this happens, do that. And that I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree with that. So I've just seen Ian Dowden's comment.
We're not in the same room. He's safe.
Is the wink your safe word, Jimmy? I like that. Yeah. So
we've got a couple. If anybody else has got any of the reses coming in, we've got a couple from some of the Scarf Bagara War team. We got Andy. He's actually away this week, so he wasn't able to watch. Well, he wasn't able to be at the game last night, so he watched it. Has he gone? So we watched it. He watched it on. I think he got the Now app for a night and watched it on Sky Sports Plus. And he said he was watching on the Sky app, and the graphics showed the team lineups and formations, and both of them were burgundy and maroon for both teams. So even us being obviously the home team playing in blue, and them being the away team, which normally play in burgundy, they just showed them both. So it's just completely lazy graphics that they didn't even rectify that. Yeah. I think that can. I mean, I didn't see it. Obviously, I've not watched it. If anybody else was watching Sky Sports Plus last night, can put that one in. And this is for all you OCD boys. This is all your OCD boys. You're gonna absolutely hate this. So, Stuart Hope, who is reporting from the ladies' game, he has put, where's his picture gone? Yeah. So on Dave Challoner's training top that he wears for the interview, that his normal hoodie or his 3/4 zip top that he wears, he's saying that the county badge is not in line with the Puma logo and his initials. So I will just leave that bit there, and now everybody is going to go back and watch the video, and they will not be able to unsee it.
No.
And all the OCD boys are all going to go mad.
Yeah.
So
my sister being one of them.
That can get the reses, but when you notice it, you're all going to be pissed off that you've seen it now, and you're not going to be able to unsee it. So thanks a lot for that, Stu.
I ruined it for my sister because she wasn't aware that the tunnel at Edgeley Park was off centre.
Oh, yeah.
So now that winds her up. But then to make it even worse is the tactical areas. One of them straddles the halfway line. They're not either equal sides of the halfway line. So,
oh my God.
She just sits there. And she just sits there, just looking at it now, just twitching. Saying, "Oh, if they build that stand on the other side and they put the changing rooms in there, please God, let them put the tunnel in the middle."
Yeah.
So I'm going to write some saying, "No, make sure you put it in the corner like Barnsley did."
Put it between where they're going to put the home and the away fans.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. There's a couple coming in about our ticketing system. I think that's been put in the reses several times. It's well and truly drowned now. So I don't think we can. I think it's been drowned several times. I think it's been called a witch once or twice as well. So it's definitely nothing else that we can do with that, I'm afraid. Go on. Seems though you're here. Seems though you're the guest, Phil. What's your second getting the reses? We'll give you another one.
I was listening to a post-match interview with a player over the weekend, and they were saying about the players going out and giving 110%. And I just went, can you? You can give 100%. You can't give more than that.
Yeah.
But not only that, why are you coming out and saying that you've gone out and given your all? Surely as a professional footballer, you should be doing that anyway. I would just love one player to go, do you know what? I'm going to go out today. It's going to give it like 65, 70%.
Yeah. I'm just going to go out, give it 60%.
Yeah,
I know we can win.
It's easy this game. I'll just stroll around in the middle and just knock it here, there, and everywhere.
Isn't that what Powell does?
Yeah.
But he's intelligent with his percentages. He is giving it 100%.
But just that 110% is just like, no, you can't. That's just my little irritant.
Fair enough. Yeah. I understand that. Maybe not. I can understand giving 110%, but I understand more why do you not do that every game then? As you say, as a professional footballer, you're not going to go out and just go, as you say, I'm only going to give 60% today. I'm not asked about that. I'll just fuck about for a bit.
Yeah. There's other 9 guys on the pitch. They can do my running for me. It's all right. I'll just stand there.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I'll just stand here for a bit.
Yeah. Are we talking about Adam Proudlock here?
Brilliant. Yes, I think that all of those can go in the reses.
Good.
All of those can go in the reses. Anything else to add? If not, I think we will wrap it up. I think we've said everything we need to say.
Yeah.
And obviously, I need to find buttons now.
Did you mention Russ is doing an Oppo preview, a record tomorrow? Or did I miss that?
Yeah, of course I didn't.
Okay. Well, Russ is doing an Oppo preview tomorrow.
Yeah, we didn't. Right. We couldn't get a Lincoln fan on tonight to do an Oppo preview. So Russ is doing a pre-record with him, which will be out tomorrow at some point. So look forward to that. Okay. That'll be out on all our socials and stuff like that. Anything else that I've missed, Jimmy? Yeah,
I've just got one thing to say that Chloe brought to my attention today. The Lincoln crest. Has anybody seen it? The Lincoln crest?
Isn't it?
It's literally white with a red imp on it. And that is literally it. It just looks really weird. She said, Dad, what's that? And I said, I think it's an imp. And she was like, oh, it looks like some sort of weird little goblin-y thing. Yep, that's what an imp is.
Yeah,
you've got to check it out. Google it and have a look at their crest thing. It's crap. It's one of these modern things.
Can't be as bad as Sulphurs, though, can it, really?
Yeah, it's worse.
I think really? Do you think so? I think that's a dreadful crest.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, because it's not even got a badge around it or anything, has it? It looks like he's touching something. Okay.
All right. Steady on.
No, it does.
That's a whole new podcast, Waggie.
That is a whole new podcast. After this one. No, it's all right. We're after the watershed. We can talk about
that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Phil. Making it
no problem. Thank you. Yeah.
I will no doubt catch you in the courtyard at some point.
Yeah.
Probably on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I'll be there.
Thank you for co-hosting, Jimmy. Always a pleasure. And have you got a fan guest for Sunday for the Courtyard Club Call?
I'm pretty sure Andy's found me somebody. I've just not seen who it is. Apologies.
Okay. Cool. So that will be recorded. That's deep dive into all things the Lincoln away, released to everybody on Monday morning for your commute. If you're a patron member, you get that ad-free. You get everything from us ad-free if you are a patron member. So £3 English each month. Get yourself signed up. As I say, hopefully we've got some really good current players, ex-players, and county royalty coming up in future podcasts. So all I will say after that is cheers, thank you, and we will see you next week. And hope this is the right button.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts, and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content, and more. You can find us on X, Facebook, and Instagram Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow County fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County! And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on... And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War.